start crashing out. All of a sudden, everybody became this huge Ryan Howard fan. The damn Atlanta Dream can't get 1,500 people to show up to a home game, and their gym only seats about 3,000 or something. Okay, they can't even get 1,500 people. I can get more people to show up to a damn cookout than the Atlanta Dream and Ryan Howard can get people to show up to the game. No disrespect to her. I like Ryan Howard as a player. Okay.
That reaction right there tells you everything you need to know about where we are right now. The WNBA just secured a historic CBA deal. Players are about to see salaries jump to $600,000 average, charter flights are guaranteed, and the revenue-sharing model got completely restructured. Not a single regular season game has been played yet, and social media is already on fire. Because Caitlin Clark won MVP at the USA Basketball 3x3 Olympic qualifying tournament in April 2024, and a very specific segment of basketball fans absolutely lost their minds.
Okay, this is a post. It says, and the clowns will actually sit there and pretend Howard was the MVP, not Caitlin Clark. Get this disgusting hate out of your heart, because she's probably going to win a lot of awards, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. Now let's take a look at this here, okay? Ryan Howard had 50 points. Caitlin Clark had 51. Caitlin Clark had 25 assists. Ryan Howard had 5. Ryan Howard had 6 rebounds. Caitlin Clark had 6. Ryan Howard made 15 threes. Caitlin Clark made 9. What are we talking about, people?
Let's look at what actually happened on the court. The numbers don't lie, and they're not even close. Caitlin Clark scored 51 points across the tournament. Ryan Howard scored 50. Clark dished out 25 assists. Howard had 5. They tied with 6 rebounds each. Clark hit 9 three-pointers. Howard made 15, which is the only statistical category where Howard had the advantage. But here's the kicker. Clark led Team USA in true shooting percentage and was either first or tied for first in points per game at 11 point something per contest. So when the MVP award went to the player who led in points, led in assists by a margin of 5-1, and had the highest shooting efficiency, that should have been the end of the story. It wasn't.
Y'all a bunch of clowns, y'all jealous, y'all haters, and y'all keep talking about, oh, the WNBA, she won because the WNBA is racist. No, you're hating on her because you're racist. How about that? You're worried about the fact that she's white. I'm not. I don't give a damn. You're the one that's being racist. That's a you problem. That's a you problem. Okay? Oh, she won MVP because she's white. Like, man, get up out of here, man.
Notice how the conversation immediately shifted. Not to the statistics, not to the performance metrics, straight to race. The accusation came fast and loud. Caitlin Clark only won MVP because she's white, because the WNBA is racist, because the system is rigged to favor her. And here's what makes that argument fall apart completely. This wasn't even a WNBA event. This was USA Basketball's 3x3 qualifying tournament. The voting wasn't done by WNBA executives or league officials. This was an international basketball competition with its own governance structure. But facts don't matter when people are committed to a narrative. And the narrative they're committed to is that Caitlin Clark's success is illegitimate.
The people that be screaming race, y'all be the ones that's worried about race all day. Sometimes, now, yes, there are bad apples, but a lot of y'all be the problem, man. Now we got to get into this because shout out to CJ. She pulled up to the live, the W360. She addressed what the people she calls the slows on her YouTube channel, okay? And I want to take a listen at what she had to say. Hey, she stirred the pot. She was cooking their ass on this one. Let's take a listen to some of what she had to say. The video's 17 minutes long. I'm just gonna play a couple minutes so y'all can see how she was going.
Think about the timing of this meltdown. The new CBA that just got ratified in January 2025 includes massive financial gains that wouldn't exist without the revenue spike Caitlin Clark generated. We're talking about a deal that raises the salary cap from $1.46 million to $2.24 million per team by 2027. Average salaries jumping from $75,000 to over $200,000 in the first year alone. Full-time charter flight access for all teams. 50-50 revenue split once the league hits profitability. The WNBA saw attendance jump 38% in 2024. Average viewership for nationally televised games went from 400,000 to over 1 million. The Indiana Fever went from averaging 4,000 fans per game to selling out 17,000-seat arenas consistently. And all of that happened in Caitlin Clark's rookie season. So she just helped secure generational wealth for every player in the league. And the response to her winning an MVP award at a qualifying tournament is to call it racist. The cognitive dissonance is staggering.
So to all the slows that are upset about this MVP award, just brace yourself. There's plenty more to come. Ladies and gentlemen, the slows are melting down today. Okay?
No.
They're melting down like an ice cream cone in Texas in July. They're having meltdowns, baby. I'm telling you now, and it's delicious. It's delicious. Okay? Let's take a look at some of the things the slows are putting out here on the internet. Let's take a look, shall we?
Here's where this gets particularly revealing. Suddenly, everyone became a massive Rhyne Howard fan. The Atlanta Dream, where Howard plays, averaged around 4,000 fans per home game in 2024. Their arena, Gateway Center Arena, seats about 3,500 people. They couldn't consistently fill a venue smaller than most high school gyms. No disrespect to Rhyne Howard as a player, she's legitimately talented, made the All-Star team, and has a solid offensive game. But let's be honest about the reality here. The same people screaming that Howard was robbed of the MVP couldn't name 3 other players on the Dream's roster. They didn't watch Dream games. They didn't buy Dream merchandise. They didn't show up when Howard dropped 25 points against the Liberty. But now, suddenly, they're passionate advocates for her receiving individual awards. It's transparent. This isn't about supporting Rhyne Howard. This is about tearing down Caitlin Clark.
I can't say on the internet what I was doing at 24, but I wasn't winning MVPs. International MVP.
Let's see what some of the slows
This is why
had to say.
she's a second MVP award.
Let's see what some of the slows had to say.
Says, I swear I'm not trying to be a hater. When I say that the
See, you a hater. When you gotta say you swear you not trying to be a hater, you know you a hater. You know you a hater, fam. I don't ever have to say, I swear I'm not trying to be a hater. Like, oh, you gotta swear to try not to be a hater. You a fucking hater.
woman with the army of white supremacists isn't good enough to be a lock for Team USA. She's just a lock because of media pressure in politics. She could not dribble a ball once and still make it.
Watch how the argument gets constructed. They start with the conclusion, Caitlin Clark doesn't deserve recognition, and then work backwards to justify it. The MVP voting was rigged. The media creates a narrative around her. She has an army of white supremacists supporting her. The games were already decided, so her stats don't count. Every single one of these claims requires you to ignore objective reality. The games were already decided. She played the same tournament everyone else played, under the same rules, with the same stakes. Her stats came in competitive games against the same opponents. The idea that her performance somehow doesn't count because Team USA won games is absurd. That's literally what you're supposed to do in a tournament: win games and perform well doing it. And this claim about white supremacist support, let's address that directly. Caitlin Clark has millions of fans because she's an electrifying player who broke the NCAA scoring record, hits logo threes, and plays with visible passion. Painting her entire fan base as racist is not just inaccurate, it's a deliberate tactic to delegitimize her success. Some bad actors exist in every large fan base. That doesn't define the whole, and it certainly doesn't diminish what she's accomplished on the court.
Another slow says, her legacy will consist of the media cheating others out of accolades because they will do whatever in their power to prove they were right about her drive clicks. How are you MVP when your success came when the games were already decided? Rhyne Howard played her ass off. This slow thinks the game was decided. They think the games were rigged.
Like, think about some of the stuff she just read. This is how cuckoo these people are. This is how cuckoo they are. It's insanity. The first thing these people do is go talk about race. They go talk about, you're there because of your religion. Like, they talk about anything.
The creator in that clip called them the slows. And honestly, that's being generous. Because what we're watching is a masterclass in motivated reasoning. These are people who've decided that Caitlin Clark's success offends them, and they're working backwards from that emotional reaction to construct whatever argument fits. The games were rigged. The media is biased. She's only popular because of race. It's white supremacy, it's politics, it's media pressure. Notice how the goalposts keep moving. When she was at Iowa, the criticism was that she couldn't compete at the professional level. Then she got drafted first overall, and the narrative became that she was overhyped. Then she won Rookie of the Year after averaging 19 points and 8 assists. And suddenly the argument was that other players deserved it more. Now she wins MVP at an international qualifying tournament with clear statistical dominance. And we're back to claims of racism and rigging. At what point do we acknowledge the obvious? She's just really good at basketball. Elite vision, exceptional shooting range, high basketball IQ, competitive drive. Those aren't racial characteristics. Those are skills she's developed through thousands of hours of practice.
This is how cuckoo they are. It's insanity. The first thing these people do is go talk about race. They go talk about, you're there because of your religion. Like, they talk about anything.
Here's what makes this entire controversy so frustrating and, frankly, counterproductive for the WNBA's growth. The league just had its best year in history. Viewership records shattered, attendance way up, merchandise sales through the roof. A new media rights deal worth $2.2 billion over 11 years got signed in July 2024. That's a massive increase from the previous $50 million deal. Corporate sponsors are actually paying attention now. The playoff games were drawing over 1 million viewers consistently. All of that momentum, all of that growth, all of that mainstream attention the WNBA has been desperately trying to capture for 2 decades. It's finally happening. And instead of capitalizing on it, instead of celebrating the rising tide that's lifting all boats, a vocal segment of the discourse is focused on tearing down the player who's driving much of that interest. Think about how this looks to casual fans. Someone tunes in because they heard about Caitlin Clark. They watch her play, they see the skill, they get interested in the league. Then they go online and see people calling her success racist, calling her fans white supremacists, claiming every award she wins is rigged. What's their reaction going to be? Are they going to stick around and invest emotionally in a league where excellence is treated with suspicion? Or are they going to tune out and go back to the NBA or college football or whatever else competes for their attention? The WNBA has spent years begging for mainstream coverage, for investment, for fans to care. Now they have it, and the response from some corners is to attack the credibility of the player generating that interest. It's self-sabotage on a massive scale. And here's the thing about the racist league argument that keeps getting thrown around. It doesn't hold up to even basic scrutiny. A'ja Wilson won MVP in 2024. She's been the face of the league for years, getting signature shoe deals and national commercials. Breanna Stewart is consistently recognized as one of the best players in the world. Sabrina Ionescu has a huge following and her own signature Nike line. Angel Reese got massive media attention as a rookie, finished second in Rookie of the Year voting, and has major endorsement deals. The league celebrates black excellence constantly. The difference is that Caitlin Clark generates a specific type of mainstream crossover appeal that translates to ratings and revenue at a scale the league hasn't seen before. That's not about race. That's about star power, playing style, and cultural moment. She came out of college with massive name recognition from breaking Pete Maravich's scoring record, playing in sold-out arenas, and delivering March Madness moments that became national news. What's the alternative being proposed here? That the league should actively suppress coverage of its biggest draw to make things feel more equitable? That Caitlin Clark should apologize for being popular? That fans should stop watching her because other players deserve attention too? None of that makes business sense, and none of that helps grow the league. The reality is this. Sports have always been driven by star power. Michael Jordan didn't diminish other great players in the NBA. He elevated the entire league. Tiger Woods didn't hurt golf. He brought millions of new fans to the sport. Serena Williams didn't damage women's tennis, she made it mainstream appointment viewing. Caitlin Clark is doing the same thing for the WNBA, and fighting that is fighting the league's own success. So when she wins an MVP award at a qualifying tournament where she objectively had the best statistical performance, and the immediate reaction is accusations of racism and rigging, what message does that send? It tells players that individual excellence will be treated with suspicion if you're the wrong demographic. It tells fans that objective performance doesn't matter as much as narrative. It tells sponsors that the league's fan base is divided and hostile. None of that helps anyone, not Ryan Howard, who's a good player getting used as a prop in someone else's argument. Not the other WNBA players who benefit from increased league revenue. Not the fans who just want to watch great basketball. And certainly not Caitlin Clark, who's going to keep winning awards because she keeps performing at an elite level. The CBA just guaranteed financial security for WNBA players in a way that didn't exist before. Salaries are about to triple for many players. Travel conditions are improving dramatically. The league is expanding to new markets. Investment is pouring in. This is what success looks like, and a big part of that success is directly attributable to the attention Caitlin Clark has generated. So maybe, just maybe, instead of crashing out every time she wins an award she statistically earned, we could acknowledge that her success and the league's success are connected. That you can celebrate Aja Wilson's dominance and Caitlin Clark's playmaking and Breanna Stewart's versatility all at the same time. That the WNBA is big enough for multiple stars, multiple narratives, multiple fan bases. Because here's what's coming. Caitlin Clark is 22 years old. She's going to win more awards. She's going to break more records. She's going to generate more headlines. And if the reaction every single time is to claim it's undeserved, to call it racist, to diminish her accomplishments, then we're in for years of exhausting discourse that helps nobody. The question isn't whether Caitlin Clark deserved MVP at that qualifying tournament. The stats answer that clearly. The question is whether the WNBA's fan base can handle having a transcendent star who happens to be white without treating it like a crisis. Because if the answer is no, if every achievement has to be litigated through the lens of racial grievance, then the league's growth is going to stall out fast. Casual fans don't stick around for that kind of toxicity. So what's it going to be? Are we going to celebrate the WNBA's rising moment and appreciate all the players contributing to it? Or are we going to keep having these same tired arguments every time someone wins an award, gets media attention, or breaks a record? Because I can tell you which path leads to sustained growth, and which path leads right back to playing in half-empty arenas for minimal coverage. The choice seems pretty obvious to me, but based on the reaction to a simple MVP award at a qualifying tournament, I'm not confident everyone's ready to make it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Can the WNBA handle Caitlin Clark's success? Or is this going to be a recurring problem every season? And if you found this breakdown valuable, hit that subscribe button because we're going to keep covering this league as it grows, whether the discourse stays messy or not.